Have you ever wondered if the words you say to your children, even as they've grown, could be silently shaping their lives in ways you never intended? As we age, our relationship with our adult children evolves, but the power of our words remains. In this video, I'll reveal 9 things you should never tell your children if you're between 50 and 80 years old. These insights might surprise you, but they could transform your family dynamics forever. Before we dive in, if you enjoy these insights, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Let's begin. 1. I wish you'd visit more often. We all miss our children when they're not around, but expressing this sentiment can backfire spectacularly. It might seem innocent, even loving, but it can create a burden of guilt that weighs heavily on your children's shoulders. I remember when I constantly told my daughter, Sarah, that I missed her and wished she'd visit more. I didn't realize the pressure I was putting on her until she broke down one day, explaining how guilty she felt every time she couldn't make it home. Instead of voicing your desire for more visits, try this. I always enjoy our time together. Let's plan our next get-together. This approach puts a positive spin on your interactions without making your children feel obligated. Remember, quality trumps quantity. Make the most of the time you do have together. Create memorable experiences that will make your children want to visit, not feel they have to. Perhaps suggest a shared activity or a new restaurant to try. This shifts the focus from obligation to enjoyment. Consider using technology to stay connected between visits. Learning to use video calls or social media can help bridge the physical gap without putting pressure on your children. It's about finding a balance that works for everyone. 2. When I was your age, I had already. Comparing your life achievements to your children's can be deeply damaging, even if that's not your intention. Our world is vastly different from the one we grew up in. The milestones and expectations have shifted dramatically. I once told my son, when I was your age, I already owned a house and had 2 kids. I thought I was motivating him, but I was actually making him feel inadequate and unsuccessful. Instead, try saying, I'm proud of how you're navigating your own path. This acknowledges that their journey is unique and valuable, even if it looks different from yours. Celebrate their achievements, no matter how small they might seem to you. Remember, success isn't a race or a competition, especially not between generations. The world has changed, and so have the markers of success. Take time to understand the challenges your children face. The job market, housing prices, and social expectations are different now. By acknowledging these differences, you show empathy and understanding, which can strengthen your relationship. 3. You should be saving more for retirement. Financial advice, even when well-intentioned, can come across as patronizing or judgmental, especially to adult children who are likely struggling with a more complex economic landscape than we faced. I used to lecture my children about their spending habits and lack of retirement savings. It only created tension and made them less likely to discuss financial matters with me. Instead of giving unsolicited advice, try this approach. If you ever want to discuss financial planning, I'm here to listen and share my experiences if you'd find that helpful. This opens the door for conversation without pushing. Remember, our role is to support, not dictate. Trust that you've raised capable adults who can make their own decisions. If they do come to you for advice, focus on sharing your experiences rather than telling them what to do. For example, you could say, "Here's what worked for me, but your situation might be different." This approach respects their autonomy while still offering valuable insights. Consider your own financial choices too. Are you modeling good financial behavior? Sometimes actions speak louder than words. 4. Why aren't you married yet? Or, when are you going to have children? Questions about marriage and children can be incredibly sensitive topics. They might seem like natural inquiries to us, but they can be deeply personal and potentially painful for our children. I used to ask my youngest about her dating life constantly. I didn't realize how much pressure it was putting on her until she stopped sharing anything about her personal life with me. Instead of probing, try this. I hope you're happy, whatever path you choose in life. This shows that you value their happiness above societal expectations. Remember, everyone's journey is different. Some may choose not to marry or have children, and that's okay. Our job is to love and support them, not to push them towards a life that we envision for them. If your child is struggling with infertility or a difficult breakup, these questions can be particularly hurtful. Be sensitive to their situation and follow their lead in conversations about relationships and family planning. Focus on your child's overall happiness and fulfillment. Ask about their hobbies, career, or friends instead. This shows that you value them as a whole person, not just their marital or parental status. 5. I'm too old to learn new technology. Claiming inability to adapt to new technology can create a generational divide and make our children feel responsible for our technological literacy. I used to dismiss smartphones as too complicated. This not only limited my own growth, but also put an unfair burden on my children to manage my affairs. Instead, try saying, "Could you show me how this works? I'd love to learn." This approach turns potential frustration into a bonding opportunity. Embrace lifelong learning. Not only will it keep your mind sharp, but it will also help you stay connected with your children and grandchildren in this digital age. Take a proactive approach to learning new technologies. Many libraries and community centers offer classes for seniors. This shows your children that you're making an effort to stay current and independent. Remember, it's okay to ask for help, but try to learn rather than relying solely on your children. This maintains your independence and shows respect for their time. 6. Your brother/sister is more successful, happier than you. Comparing siblings, even indirectly, can create lasting resentment and damage family relationships. Each child is unique, with their own strengths and challenges. I once praised my older son's career achievements in front of my younger son, not realizing how it made him feel inadequate. It took years to repair the damage. Instead, celebrate each child's individual journey. I admire how you've overcome challenges in your own unique way. This acknowledges their personal growth without comparison. Remember, success and happiness look different for everyone. Our role is to support each child's individual path, not to rank them against each other. Be mindful of how you distribute your attention and praise. Try to find something unique to appreciate about each child. This could be a personality trait, a skill, or an accomplishment that's meaningful to them. If you notice yourself making comparisons, stop and reflect. Why are you doing this? Often, it's our own insecurities or societal pressures that lead us to compare our children. Recognizing this can help us break the habit. 7. I've decided to change my will. Discussing inheritance or changes to your will can create tension and resentment among siblings. It can also make your children uncomfortable, as if you're planning for your demise. I once casually mentioned changes to my will over dinner. The atmosphere immediately became tense, and my children seemed more concerned about my health than the inheritance. If you need to discuss these matters, do it formally and equally with all involved parties. Say something like, "I'd like to have a family meeting to discuss some important financial matters." Remember, transparency is important, but so is timing and context. These discussions should be handled sensitively and professionally. Consider involving a neutral third party, like a lawyer or financial advisor, in these discussions. This can help keep the conversation focused and unemotional. Emphasize that your decisions are based on what you believe is fair and best for the family as a whole. Make it clear that your love for your children is not measured by monetary value. 8. I sacrificed everything for you. While our sacrifices for our children are real, reminding them of this can create guilt and resentment. It can make them feel indebted to us in unhealthy ways. I used to remind my children of all I'd given up for them, thinking it would make them appreciate me more. Instead, it made them feel burdened and uncomfortable. Instead, try this. I'm grateful for the life we've shared together. This expresses positivity about your shared experiences without placing a burden on your children. Remember, we choose to have children and make sacrifices for them. It's not their responsibility to compensate us for these choices. Focus on the joys and rewards of parenting rather than the sacrifices. Share positive memories and express gratitude for the relationship you have. If you're feeling unappreciated, communicate your needs directly without referencing past sacrifices. For example, "I'd love to spend more time with you" is more effective than "After all I've done for you, you never visit." 9. You're not parenting the right way. Criticizing our children's parenting style can create a rift between generations and undermine their confidence as parents. I used to constantly offer unsolicited advice on how my daughter should raise her kids. It led to arguments and her becoming hesitant to leave the grandchildren with me. Instead, try saying, "You're doing a great job as a parent. If you ever need support, I'm here." This affirms their abilities while offering help if needed. Remember, parenting norms change with each generation. Trust that you've raised capable adults who can make good decisions for their own children. If you're concerned about something, ask questions instead of giving directives. "I noticed Johnny seems tired lately. Is everything okay?" This opens up a dialogue rather than putting your child on the defensive. Offer support in practical ways without judgment. For example, offer to babysit or cook a meal. These acts of service show that you're there to help, not criticize. Our words carry immense power, even as our children grow into adults. By being mindful of what we say, we can foster stronger, healthier relationships with our adult children. Remember, it's never too late to change our communication patterns and create more positive family dynamics. As the ancient Greek philosopher Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Perhaps in our golden years, this wisdom becomes more valuable than ever. Reflect on your own relationships with your children. Are there areas where you could improve your communication? Remember, every interaction is an opportunity to strengthen your bond. It's not about being perfect, but about being willing to grow and adapt. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with other parents navigating this beautiful, complex journey of parenting adult children. Let's continue to learn and grow together, creating families built on mutual respect, understanding, and unconditional love. Until next time, keep loving, keep learning, and keep growing together.